Not the best local derby to finish his season off with, really. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another one of my matchday vlogs / reviews for the Preston game today. So, obviously, Preston yesterday went up against Burnley, and in the end, it managed to finish 1-0 to Burnley. A deflected Joey Barton free kick managed to be the only goal of the match, and Burnley walked away victorious with a 1-0 win, which has massively bolstered their promotion hopes for the end of the day, really. So, let's just get straight into this review now, guys. So, before I do say anything about the game itself, I want to first of all say that, do I think Burnley deserved to win this match? On the whole, I'd say yes, they probably did deserve to win this match. And then, do I think Burnley will now get promoted? Yeah. I'd say that out of the 3 remaining games that Burnley had, I think they had obviously Preston to play, and then I think they had QPR and then Charlton. Out of those 3 games, I would say that Preston would be their biggest test. They managed to come through this with a victory, so after that, I'd say I think Burnley are going up automatically, if I'm being honest. Especially with Middlesbrough and Brighton still to play each other, I think Burnley are going up. But in terms of the game itself today, guys, I was a bit disappointed, really, especially in the first half performance from us. You know, you'd think that for a game such as itself today, you know, a local derby against Burnley, I'd think that the players would have been, you know, really hyped up for this game. And in the first half, that didn't really show. I think a lot of players were, they looked a bit lazy in the first half, not really on the boil. And that wasn't helped by, obviously, Burnley scoring the early goal, which I think deflated us a little bit. You know, we started off with Burnley were on the upper hand straight away, but I think the opening goal really deflated us, really, and really put us back into our place. And it also didn't help that we had to make another early substitution when Ben Pearson went off with an injury. Hopefully he's okay, but he was absolutely excellent against MK Dons, so it was really disappointing to see him go off so early on in the match. But Daniel Johnson did actually come on for him, and I must say, you know, he's got a lot of hate in the second half of the season, and rightly so. You know, he's not performed to his optimum of what we all know Daniel Johnson is capable of. But I'd say that this is probably one of the best performances I've seen Daniel Johnson put in a very long time. I thought he did very well today, really. Obviously, he did have a chance in the second half where I think it was like our only shot on target, actually, where he did really hit it straight at Heaton. Wasn't the best shot by any stretch of the imagination, but forced Heaton into a save. But apart from that, he was making some good passes and creating chances for a lot of other people, opening up space as well. He was taking players on with a dribble, and he looked pretty deadly. So fair play to Daniel Johnson. Leave in the comments down below what you thought of his performance, but I personally thought he had a good game. Another player I thought had a very good game for Preston was our actual man of the match, Adam Reach. Now, he was absolutely on fire tonight. He was taking on Lowton time and time again, and he was just absolutely running them ragged. It's a shame that he didn't actually manage to get a goal or an assist today, as he really did seem to be up for this match day. But after that match, you know, it just left me with, I really want to get Adam Reach in the summer, and I'd be willing to play, you know, I think quite a few championship clubs will be interested in him, but I think that if Middlesbrough were to go up, we'd probably have a better chance of signing him than if Middlesbrough were to stay in the championship, because I think if they were to stay in the championship, they might find a use for him next season. But if they were to go to the Premier League, I don't think he's of that quality yet, but championship level definitely, and I'd love to see him in the Preston shirt next season. Whether that's on a loan again or permanent, I'd love to see him in the Preston shirt next season. However, a performance I was quite disappointed with was Paul Gallagher. I thought his deliveries were lacking today. I thought for large majorities of the match he went missing, and quite a few times he was giving the ball away cheaply, and he was dropping very deep as well. Now, I thought after the first half performance of that Gallagher put in, it wasn't really the best, and it's clear to me, at least, to see that from that first half performance, we needed a big tackler in there, really, in the centre of midfield. Ever since Pearson went off, we brought Daniel Johnson on, who, you know, he's a very capable player, a very attacking player, but not that sort of player who was going to break down Burnley, and that was apparent in the second half when Burnley had so many chances. Luckily, they weren't able to convert any of them. I know Andre Gray had a great chance when he hit the crossbar. Shortly afterwards, Burnley then hit the crossbar after Andre Gray had hit the post, so we were quite fortunate that we were only conceded 1, if I may say so myself. So what I would have personally done with Gallagher is I would have shifted him out to the left-hand side, maybe, so I think that's where he would have been much more effective in this game, where he could cut inside and get his cross in early, rather than playing in the middle and trying to dictate play and dropping very deep, just dropping deeper and deeper. Because let's face it, Joey Barton for Burnley absolutely ran the show for them. He was absolutely fantastic for Burnley today, and you know, if you like him or not, you know, I personally don't like Joey Barton at all, but reflecting back on that match, he just absolutely bossed that midfield today. So a question I thought I'd bring up is, why was John Welsh not on the bench today? Literally, I don't believe he's got any injuries, but why on earth would Grayson pick Neil Kilkenny to go on the bench over John Welsh? I literally have no idea, because we were really stuck for ideas. Don't get me wrong, I'm a massive fan of Alan Brown, massive fan of Gallagher and Daniel Johnson, But all of them three playing together, you know, you need a real tackler in there, and that's just not what we had in that midfield, especially when Pearson went off. So when Pearson went off, you know, the obviously like-for-like change to bring on will be John Welsh, but for some odd reason, Grayson decided not to put Welsh on the bench. So I think that ended up backfiring to us in the end, because I think that if we had Welsh on the bench, you know, we could have played the midfield two with Welsh and then Alan Brown, and then, you know, DJ playing ahead of them maybe, and then putting Gallagher out onto one wing and then reach out on the other. That could have worked quite well in my opinion, but it just wasn't to be today, as Grayson didn't decide to pick Welsh. So in my opinion, this probably is the end of Welsh's time at Preston. I believe at the end of the season, Grayson will be moving him on. I can't see him keeping him around the club anymore, especially if he's not going to at least have him on the bench for games such as this today. So honestly, it's a shame as well, because I'm a massive fan of John Welsh, but honestly, I don't think there's much time left for him in a Preston shirt. In terms of Burnley, I thought that they did what they needed to do, and they did what they've done for the majority of this season, especially this year in 2016, and that's grind out results. You know, they're a very hard team to break down, and the reason for that is when they are going forward, obviously they've got the threats going forward. You know, they got the players like Andre Gray, Ashley Barnes, who came on, Sam Vokes, you know, all those attacking players, Boyd as well, Arfield. But what they don't do when they go forward is they never overcommit players, and that in the end is extremely hard to break down. So the early goal for Burnley, which was an incredibly soft goal by the way, a deflected free kick from Joey Barton, which I've not seen the replay yet, but I believe that Chris Kirkland could have done a lot better. I mean, when the free kick was hit, he already instinctively took 2 steps over to his right hand side, which was a bit of poor judgment really from his side. But like I said, I thought it was a pretty poor, pretty soft goal to concede. So that early goal definitely helped Burnley, as that meant that their defence or their midfield never needed to overcommit to any attacks. And really what they were doing, they were just playing on the break with Andre Gray really. And, you know, he in the end, we managed to keep him quiet, but you could see the threat that he does possess for. Obviously, in my opinion, I think it was a massive downfall that Andres Lindegaard was actually injured for this match. I know he's had a bit of slack recently, as he's made a couple of mistakes, but I would have felt so much more confident having Lindegaard in net than having Kirkland in there. Obviously, he did only concede the 1 goal today, but he looked very shaky throughout that match. And next season, do I really want Chris Kirkland to be our number 2? I don't really think so. I think he's getting on now. I think his experience would be good, you know, for the younger keepers coming through, but to be a number 2 goalkeeper, I just don't know if he's that capable really. He looked very clumsy at times, and every time, you know, Burnley were going forward, I just didn't have that confidence that Kirkland would keep them out. And then one thing I thought I'd briefly bring up, I never really like talking about referee displays too much, because, you know, that's taken away from the football really, but I thought I had to bring this up, to be honest. But in my opinion, Kevin Friend had an absolutely awful day at Deepdale today, and that's just not me being biased from a Preston perspective. I thought he gave wrong decisions for Preston and Burnley and Taylor as well. I thought there was numerous times when he got decisions wrong, and honestly, I thought that players were just taking advantage of him after a while, and it was clear to see, you know. And I'm not going to name any names, but I think you guys will be able to tell, you know, the sort of players who were taking advantage of the ref after a while, and, you know, sort of had the ref in their back pocket all along. Joey Barton. So in the end, guys, I thought that Burnley did show their class really, and you can see why they are where they are. They got where they are because they are grinding out results, and in the end, I thought it was our lacking quality in the final third which really let us down today. I thought Jermaine Beckford should have scored, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure who put the ball in. I think it was either Cunningham or Gallagher. They put a great ball into Jermaine Beckford, and he sort of scooped his header over the bar. I don't really know what he was doing. If he got that one on target, definite goal for me. So a bit disappointed with that, if I'm being honest. I can't really have too much complaints considering the Burnley side that they put up against us today. So my question to you guys that I'm going to post to you is really, we're looking forward to next season now really. So I want to ask you guys, what are the positions that you think we need to strengthen? I think we've seen enough of the players that we've already got already. Obviously the season's almost over. So what are the positions that we need to strengthen in the summer? In my opinion, we definitely need a permanent goalkeeper to get. If that's Sam Johnson or Andres Lindegaard, that's obviously up to Sam and Grayson, but we definitely need a new goalkeeper. I'd say we definitely need a new centre-back pairing as well. Not a new centre-back pairing, but we need a new centre-back to come in. I'm not sure Tom Clark's up to it anymore, if I'm being honest. For a squad player, definitely, but for a starting 11, I'd like to see a new centre-back come inside and partner alongside Bailey Wright, if I'm being honest. Obviously, we'll need a new right-back since Vermeil will be going back out on loan. Whether that's Vermeil or not, I'm not too sure. We'd obviously, in my opinion, then need a centre midfielder. As the midfielders we have at the moment, they're all great. You know, the players like Ben Pearson, Alan Brown, DJ Gallagher, they're all fantastic players, but they're all very similar players as well. They're all quite lightweight. You know, obviously players like Ben Pearson and Alan Brown do put their foot in, but they're still quite lightweight. I'd like to see a big bolstering midfielder come in, really, and you know, someone with a bit of a physical presence to come in. They're like two wingers, really, obviously. Whether that's Callum Robinson and Adam Reach, I'd be more than happy with those two, or if that's someone else. And then finally, I would definitely think we need a striker. You know, that's the area that we most need to concentrate on. Obviously, we do have players in that position at the moment, but are they cutting it at this point in time? I'm not so sure. So guys, let me know what you think of all that in the comments down below. So whether you're a Preston fan or a Burnley fan, let me know in the comments down below what you did think of the game. I'd be very interested to know, and what you think you will do next season. So that will wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. So all in all, it was quite a disappointing night at Deepdale, if I'm being honest. I was very disheartened by it. But, you know, looking where we're on the table, we can't be too angry about that. So, that will wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and check out all the links in the description down below. Make sure you check out my Twitter as well. I'll leave that in the description down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you all in the next one.